This is a Missouri River flooding update by Council Bluffs and Pottawattamie County officials. In these briefings, officials will inform you about projects and developments in regards to the Missouri River, other creeks and rivers in the county, and rain.
Today is Wednesday, June 29th. From the City of Council Bluffs, a couple notes. First of all, the City of Council Bluffs remains at Alert Level 1. This is unchanged from yesterday. Level 1 is defined as an unusual or slowly developing event that may impact the levee system. I make note of that today just to ask people to essentially prepare a plan for how they would react in an event. That's essentially what we are asking for. The second note is the City of Council Bluffs civil defense sirens will no longer be tested as usual. They will be, I think, scheduled for July 1st, which is this Saturday at 10. That will not occur. We've made this decision simply not to confuse that siren testing with other code red systems and emergency messages. As far as our current situation, yesterday and last night, we're pretty quiet, which is good news. We have no major levee or flood incidents to report to you today. The Council Bluffs Police Department did issue 6 individuals. I believe 4 from Omaha, 2 from Council Bluffs, for criminal trespass on the levee. I believe these were in the Playland Park area and up by the Pottawattamie County Jail. Currently, Public Works staff is using the good weather to do a lot of catch-up, to marshal pumping stations, to do necessary repairs, and to prepare for additional rainfall in the future. Of concern to us is, and I'm sure to you, is the city has high ground water tables. The water table is elevated, which is going to result in above normal utility collapses. As those occur, the city will deal with it. As far as private homes, we're receiving a lot of reports from individuals with definitely wet or flooded basements. We ask people to be very careful in these situations. Talk with the appropriate utility companies if you're dealing with utility shutoffs. We will also be trying to push more information out in the next few days and weeks on perhaps some best practices dealing with wet basements and flooded basements, and maybe some volunteer opportunities out there for those that have issues beyond what they can manage. As far as sandbagging operations, we still are taking volunteers every day at the Mid-American Center from 9 to 3. Yesterday they, I think, had 86 volunteers and made approximately 5,000 sandbags. We will continue to do this until we get an inventory of about 200,000 sandbags. Also of note, there will be a sandbagging opportunity at the Mid-American Center this Saturday from 8 to 3. However, if you are interested in volunteering, please call the volunteer telephone number. That number is 712-325-4736, and I'll repeat that, 712-325-4736. You need to call that number to pre-register for volunteering. With that, I'll turn it over to Matt Wilbur with the county.
Thanks, Don. Again, this county's #1 priority at this point, since we're in more of a supporting role for the city, is to get folks to visit our damage reporting site at potcounty.com, report any personal damage that they've dealt with. to their property. This is really necessary for us to seek authorization for individual assistance from FEMA. At this point, the disaster declaration only applies to public assistance, which allows governments to recoup costs involved with mitigation, prevention of damage, and addressing damage. It does not provide for private citizens. And so to date, as of this morning, we had 76 persons that had logged on to the website and had reported damage to their property. We obviously know that we've got quite a few others that have not. And so if you have had damage, please log on to that website, or if you don't have access to the internet, call 328-4672, which is the flood hotline. If you know someone that's had damage, encourage them to visit the site as well. Us getting that information collated, put together, and sent up the chain is going to be very important for us to get federal individual assistance declaration. A couple of little safety notes. A gentleman decided to take a rubber raft out on Monument Road in Joslin and start trying to paddle down I-29 last night, or yesterday afternoon, rather. He was cited and released for a couple of violations, including prohibited operation of a watercraft in a disaster area. The Pike County Sheriff cited and released him. The reality is, had he been picked up by the Coast Guard or DNR, there could have been a fine in the thousands of dollars, and it's just not. It takes our emergency personnel away from duties that they should be doing, which is trying to make sure everyone is safe. It's not a good idea to be, in addition to being illegal, it's not a good idea to be on or in this water. The Coast Guard, DNR have prohibited all river traffic at this point, and that includes flooded areas. They're part of the river now. There's raw sewage floating down the river. There are many dangerous obstacles, submerged logs. There's just, it's a very unsafe situation. And so I'd like to, pass on a reminder, stay off of trails that are closed. Stay off of roads that are barricaded or underwater. Don't be trying to drive through inundated areas. Just stay out of the water, period. This is not a, it's not just for people's convenience. It's a real public health and safety issue. Lake Manawa, boat traffic is now restricted to no wake only. I know that the level is up a bit at the lake. We've got some docks, other infrastructure that's submerged. And so trying to prevent any damage to those pieces of property, as well as damage to the boaters themselves, that's been restricted to no wake only. Presently, the river, at least as of about 7:30 this morning, sat at 35.34 feet. We're probably going to hang around that area, maybe give or take a few inches over the foreseeable future. On the good note, looks like we've got a fairly hot and dry weather pattern for the immediate future. So that concludes my update.